So I feel bad for the people involved in the virtual Le Mans series. I know this is a weird thing to say. I criticise the event. I stand behind the criticism, but I do feel bad. I feel like there's so much potential and there's so much effort that goes into this. And I'm still incredibly frustrated at just how misplaced it is. Now, taking a lot of heat with the stuff that I've said. In summary, I've said that the Le Mans Virtual Series actually has damaged sim racing rather than helping it, and quite a few people have been upset with that, which is fair enough. But I just wanted to explain why I actually do think that is, and also how they can improve it. So the reason why I think it's damaging sim racing is the headlines that have come out of this event have been Max Verstappen calling it a clown show, or Max Verstappen rage quitting from a video game. Just a lot of people slinging mud at each other, like if you're in the Fanatec camp or the iRacing camp. I know on this channel, in the comments on this channel, by the way, they've been absolutely great and we have very good discussion, but in other places it's been a little bit more tribal, let's say. And that's a lasting impression of the event. It's brought sim racing down. The irony is that sim racing is in a much better place than has been portrayed by the flagship event for sim racing, which is a little bit weird. And I think that has damaged sim racing. It makes a little bit of a mockery of our sport. You know, we've had so much growth, especially in the COVID times, with the events really kicking off, people getting into sim racing as a new hobby, and I feel like we've taken 2 steps back. So what can be improved? Now, there's a big debate here about, you know, should something like the Le Mans Virtual be on rFactor 2? Should it be on iRacing? Now, I don't have a foot in either camp. I remember doing the Daytona 24 Hours in 2021 or 2020 maybe, where it didn't let us in. There were like 2,500 people waiting to race. We thought it was going to be cancelled. We eventually started the race 4 hours later. So no sim racing platform is perfect, but I feel like the idea of doing this race and only having one split is such a real world motorsport thing to do. And there's a few things that concern me, worry me, annoy me about some of the stuff that's been going on in sim racing. For example, in Gran Turismo 7, which is, you can kind of just put it on the sim spectrum, there's this obsession about real world value of cars and auction houses and never being able to afford the nicest cars, because that's how it works in the real world. There's an auction house that the cars get more expensive like they do in real life. And with the virtual Le Mans series, like, you have one split and you have to pay thousands of pounds to enter. It's pay to play. No one else can. This is all the bad stuff from motorsport. Motorsport is expensive. Motorsport is prohibitive. Motorsport does not represent well across men and women. It's heavily skewed towards men. It does not, you know, skew well across socioeconomic kind of divisions as well. You know, if you can't afford to get your sponsorship, if you can't afford it or you don't get your sponsorship, you don't progress in motor racing. We don't need all that stuff in sim racing. Sim racing can be inclusive. Sim racing can be, it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, how much money you have, what your gender is. You can just race. That should be sim racing. But some of the most interesting comments I got on my video about the Le Mans Virtual were people saying, I'm new to sim racing, and this just basically didn't really give me any interest in actually kind of carrying on or getting more into it, because it's just like watching a kind of stuffy real world motorsport event, and it doesn't need to be like that. There's so many good people involved, presenters, developers, obviously, you know, other influencers, the sim racers themselves, incredibly talented drivers, so many ingredients that you need for something to really explode and kind of push sim racing forward, and it's just held back. So, you know, let me know in the comments if you've got any solutions about this. I'm not going to say, oh, just run it on iRacing, because we don't want, you know, sims to have a monopoly. But the sad reality is, in our sport of sim racing, all of the sims are really old. rFactor 2 is really old. iRacing, sorry guys and girls, it's really old as well. They're all just old sims. There's not a lot of new blood coming in. We've got Rensport coming. No one really knows what it's going to look like. No one really knows who owns it or who runs it. But, you know, it's just, that's a reality. So I'm kind of struggling, but I do feel bad for the people that are involved, because they're just trying to do a good thing and they were basically kind of set up. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.